Use it like that, huh?
Car you driving there? Where'd you get that car? You got all your paperwork.
This is police body cam footage of the moment a Newton County Sheriff's deputy pulled into Demetrius Howard's driveway.
The car was right here. That car was stolen out of Ohio. Honestly, I got scared when he said that because then it was like, does he think I stole it?
Howard had purchased this Audi A6 7 months earlier from Evolution Cars in Conyers.
So I've been paying my payments since I've had the car. He's not got anything to do with you. You're not in trouble, I promise you.
By this point, Howard's mother showed up. Sure, this was just a misunderstanding that showing the paperwork would solve it.
I showed him the date of purchase. I showed him, you know, the tag.
Y'all clean as whistle. I mean, the only thing that's hurting you is I got to take it from you.
I just didn't even know how to process what they were saying.
A tow truck came and took the car. Police say it was reported stolen in March 2022 from a car dealership in Ohio before Howard ever purchased it in May. But it never showed up as stolen at the dealer or the Georgia Department of Driver Services.
It's not kicking on the system as stolen, but the vehicle is reported stolen.
You were driving around in a stolen vehicle
For months. Yes, sir.
It's scary because had he been on the streets or somewhere else, he would have automatically been deemed the person that, you know, stole the car.
The problem for Demetrius Howard, neither the car dealership or the finance company would do anything about it. They say Evolution Cars repeatedly refused to give his money back.
It wasn't their problem. That's what they say. They're like, I guess you should get a lawyer.
This company right here is going to have to give you all your money back.
Even the sheriff's deputy thought Evolution Cars should have to make this right. So we went to ask them. You walked off with all the money. The customer, though, is the one with all the problems.
Well, I understand how you're portraying it that way. I see what you're trying to say.
Evolution manager Luis Diaz told me they did what the law requires.
We did a deal. We did everything with due diligence with the state of Georgia, what they require from us to do to verify that this vehicle is not stolen.
We're being treated like we're the ones who stole the car.
We have to go through our own process and procedures within the state guidelines. If we don't do nothing wrong,
The state's not going to say you can't give a customer his money back.
again, you're trying to portray it for me to have an answer and a question that you want to hear.
It's a question that matters an awful lot to Demetrius Howard, a new college graduate, carless for his daily work commute from Newton County into Atlanta for months now, and continuing to get threatening letters from the finance company.
The last one I got was last month, basically saying that I still owe monthly payments and saying that if I don't pay it, like the car is basically up for repossession, which I don't have the car, but it's still reported to my credit as if I do.
The car you driving, man? Where'd you get that car?
Sabrina, get inside. Now. All of us. No, Nancy. Sabrina. You want me? You can have me.
Bind your magics with a spell. I want you helpless. Bind my hands. Tie my tongue. Permit my mind to spellcast none.
Bind my hands. Tie my tongue. Permit my mind to spellcast none.
Come to me. Treachery! Kill them all!
Ambrose! No! Put the one down! Sabrina, get inside. Now. All of us.
Hub, you're a Surface Laptop 5 and your owner is late to class.
On the fabric of space, and its immense gravity warps space. As light travels past the sun, its straight path curves.
The light bends, not because the light bends, but the space in which the light is traveling curves itself.
This is why our probe's trajectory is curving. The black hole's gravity is warping the fabric of space. Everything that travels through this curved space must follow a curved path, including light.
The amazing thing is that not only does gravity warp the light into the black hole, light coming from farther away gets bent around it. And so you could see this shimmering distortion in the stars in the background as a black hole moved in front. It would almost be like taking a piece of glass and moving it across the star field.
And it's not just space that the black hole is bending. Time is warping too.
So if we send a probe going into a black hole, from our point of view, we see it falling in, and we see it falling in more and more slowly because its clock is ticking slower and slower and slower. That's a bizarre concept that it's really hard to wrap our brains around, but that is what the math and physics are telling us.
On the fabric of space and its immense gravity.
Of course, today's Monday. I always drive the car on Saturday, never drive on a Monday.
Where's this guy?
Evolution, jump into the
Yeah, we can jump out.
I'm an excellent driver.
Yeah, that's good. Come on, come on.
Why'd you let him get in this car? This is not a toy.
He says he drives this car.
Dad lets me drive slow on the driveway every Saturday. Of course, the seats were originally brown leather. Now they're pitiful red.
Where these seats were brown on it. You know this car?
I know this car.
How do you know this car?
Definitely know this car. It's 1949 Buick Roadmaster, straight 8, Fireball 8, only 8,095 production model. Dad lets me drive slow on the driveway, but not on Monday. Definitely not on Monday.
Who's your dad?
Sanford Babbitt.
Sanford Babbitt?
10961 Beechcrest Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
That's my address. What is it with this guy? Hey, who's your mother?
Eleanor Babbitt.
Eleanor.
Died January 5th, 1965 after a short...
Who the hell are you?
Uh-oh.
Huh? Oh, wait a second. Where are you going?
13 minutes to Judge Blockman, the People's Court.
Hold it. Wait a second here. I want to ask you a question. Hey, I'm talking to you. Bruner, who is this guy?
Raymond is your brother.
Of course, today's Monday. I always drive the car on Saturday.
He says no more tests. He wants to die, and he wants us to help him do it.
I want to play a little game I like to call Block My Spike with Misty May.
He's thought this through. It's not an impulsive decision.
Neither is mine. He's depressed. He'll feel much better after we cure him. He's seen all the tests we've seen. Even if we figure out what's causing the lung damage, it's too late to reverse it. You can't know that without knowing what's wrong. It's his call.
So what do? We just put a plastic bag over his head and get it over with?
No, we give him a syringe full of morphine. Every doctor I've ever practiced with has done it. They don't want to, they don't like to, but that's the way it is.
I haven't, I won't.
Couldn't do it either.
You just said we should respect his decision.
Respect it doesn't necessarily mean we honor it.
Right. It just means we talk about it. At some point, do no harm has to mean allowing nature to take its course, not stubbornly standing in the way of it.
Sticking a metal syringe into a plastic IV line and pumping in a lethal dose of morphine is not letting nature take its course. Not according to the state of New Jersey.
So it's better we allow him to slowly suffocate in his own plasma?
Whose side are you on, Senator? First respect his wishes, then invade Iraq, then get the troops home. Make up your mind.
Wow. Certainly a lot of interesting things to consider. Stress EKG rules out the heart, which means something's got to be attacking his lungs. Mycoplasma or strep pneumo. That means it's too late to do anything about it. We could try levofloxacin.
Coming up with a new treatment isn't going to do us any good unless we convince him it's worth trying.
Come on. He's old, sick, tiny. We can do whatever we want to him.
What happened?
I don't know. Must have fallen out of bed and got the nasal cannula wrapped around his neck somehow.
Ezra, what are you doing?
I don't want to live. Hook the machine. Too weak to wipe my own ass.
Why would you want to wipe your own ass when you can have someone do it for you?
You're wasting your time. There must be other patients you could actually help.
All services rendered on a first-come, first-served basis.
I won't consent to any more tests. And if anyone tries to so much as touch me, I'll press charges for assault.
You heard the man. I want to leave him alone. Why don't you go first? Get out! You came to me. I didn't come to you.
Figured you'd have the guts to do what had to be done if it came to that.
I hear that. It's time to test your lungs. Breathe. Have to exhale sometime. Stop.
It's hurting him.
Hurting me. Fine. You don't help us, we don't help you. Your lungs slowly fill with fluid. You gasp to catch every breath and never can. Every breath is petrifying. Slow, painful, torturous.
We don't choose our birth, and we don't choose our death.
He says no more tests. He wants to die, and he wants us to help him do it.
I want to play a little game I like to call Block My Spike with Misty May.
He's thought this through. It's not an impulsive decision.
Neither is mine. He's depressed. He'll feel much better after we cure him. He's seen all the tests we've seen. Even if we figure out what's causing the lung damage, it's too late to reverse it. You can't know that without knowing what's wrong. It's his call.
So what do? We just put a plastic bag over his head and get it over with?
No, we give him a syringe full of morphine.
Every doctor I've ever practiced with has done it. They don't want to, they don't like to, but that's the way it is.
I haven't. I won't.
Couldn't do it either.
You just said we should respect his decision.
Respect it doesn't necessarily mean we honor it.
Right. We can talk about it. At some point, do no harm has to mean allowing nature to take its course, not stubbornly standing in the way of it.
Sticking a metal syringe into a plastic IV line and pumping in a lethal dose of morphine is not letting nature take its course. Not according to the state of New Jersey.
So it's better we allow him to slowly suffocate in his own plasma?
Which side are you on, Senator? First respect his wishes, then invade Iraq, then get the troops home. Look at the mind.
Wow. Certainly a lot of interesting things to consider. Stress EKG rules out the heart. So something's got to be attacking his lungs with mycoplasma or strep pneumo. Good way to do anything about it. You could try levofloxacin.
Coming up with a new treatment isn't going to do us any good unless we convince him it's worth trying.
He's old, sick, tiny. We can do whatever we want to him.
What happened? I don't know. Must have fallen.
A lot of people still don't understand how I could be mistaken as a kid, and a lot of people still don't understand how I could be mistaken as a kid, and I am with you. I also don't understand it. I am really short, and I feel like that has to be the only reason. Recently, I went on a trip with my husband's cousins, and I can't tell you how many times they thought that I was one of their kids. First of all, they never checked my ID in the airport, which I thought was just a normal thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that they just checked the ID of the person who bought the tickets, because they never checked my ID. I just thought they always checked my husband's ID because he's the one who booked the trip. At one point, we had